Hello everyone, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com and welcome back to my continuing coverage of the 2016 Dallas International Film Festival, where I'm going to be throwing a bunch of movie reviews at you guys, so buckle up, Buttercup. But the next one I'm going to throw at you guys is Killzone 2. Now, this is a sequel to Killzone, which is a Hong Kong movie that came out in 2005, I believe, so this is 11 years in the making. I walked into this not knowing what to expect. I liked it. I didn't really love it, but I did like a lot of aspects about it, so let's get real and break this down. First off, this is the very first Hong Kong movie I've ever seen. Congratulations. Pat on the back for me for expanding my foreign film knowledge, but congrats to the filmmakers and stuff. It was a pretty well done film, but I do have a few issues with it, and this might be because of a culture thing. I don't know. If it is, let me know down below in the comments. But let's start with the writing and directing. Now, if you guys want to know what this movie's about, I can pull it up on my phone real fast. I got it right here. In the wake of a botched bust meant to shut down an organ trafficking ring, undercover cop Kit has his cover blown. As payback, the sinister gang sends him to a Thai prison run by a corrupt warden who swaps Kit's identity with that of a prisoner facing a life sentence. And that's just part of it. Let's start with the writing. As much as I like the action in this movie and some of the moments between characters, I did feel like there was a lot going on in this movie. Tony Jaa is in this movie. He plays a security guard, trying to find blood for his sick daughter. Then you have, the whole prison thing. Then you have the warden thing. And then you have another guy and his brother with heart transplants and stuff. I felt like there was a lot going on, and I wouldn't know how to fix this movie because I enjoyed it for the most part, but maybe cut back on some of the plot points and stuff or whatnot. But I felt like there was just a lot going in this 2-hour crockpot of a movie, and it seemed a little too jumbled, heavy-handed and stuff, but that still didn't deter from my entertainment of this film. And that's another thing. The tone is all over the place. Now, I get it. Martial arts movies are either going to be visceral and realistic, kind of like The Raid, or over the top and wire hungry, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'm fully aware of those two types of martial arts movies. But the tone in this one, with the fight, let's start with the fighting. The fighting was very good. I loved all the martial arts in this movie, for the most part. It was very visceral. It was very brutal. I felt the punches. I felt the crunches in the bones. It was amazing. But then you would have a couple scenes where, they would do the wires and, the anti-gravity stuff, and I'm like, okay, that kind of took me out of it for a moment. If you were going to go down that wire anti-gravity route, that's fine. Just make the whole movie like that. There's one specific character, the warden, who's really good at martial arts. He's the one that has the most anti-gravity stuff. Then Tony Jaa does some stuff, and it's like, why can't you just make it all kind of realistic and brutal and grounding and stuff versus, the anti-gravity stuff? So I just thought the tone and the fighting didn't really work in some scenes, but for the most part, the choreography was great. Tone with the movie itself, it would be very humorous and lighthearted, type of over-the-top type of manner, and then in some scenes, it would jump right into a very hardcore dramatic scene, and then it would go back into the over-the-top kind of comedy or whatever. I didn't think it worked that well with the movie. Now, I will say, as standalone scenes, the dramatic scenes were really good. For the standalone over-the-top scenes, they were really well handled. But when you gel it together as a cohesive narrative, I don't think it works that well, especially when you have all those subplots going into this. It kind of makes it look messy just a hair. And as far as the characters go, I think the characters were fine. I just think you need to cut back on the story and just make it more cohesive with the tone and stuff. I think this would have been an even more amazing movie than with the score I'm about to give it. As far as the acting goes, everyone was great. I had a great time watching everyone. The warden was really badass. Tony Jaa was really cool and stuff. His dramatic scenes with his daughters, I bought that relationship with his daughter. I bought all the fighting scenes that he does. I mean, because he's one of the best. It's just, yeah, the acting I have no problem with. And there's one long one take scene in the prison. It's great. It's some great choreography, and I have to go back to the directing on that one. Because they have a director for, like, you know, all the narrative stuff, but then they have a action director. Got to give huge props to that guy, because the choreography in this is pretty awesome. So, yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. But going back to the acting, even the little girl, Tony Jaa's daughter, I bought into that. I bought into everyone emotionally, and I was invested into it and stuff. It just, like I said, tonally, it would just shift very quickly, and it wasn't really cohesive in that manner. Cinematography-wise, it is amazing. I loved everything about this movie and the way it was shot. It was so bright and colorful, and then when it got to the fight scenes, it was gritty, it was dirty. It just, I felt like I was there in that prison, like, you know, trying to dodge, like, all these random people, like, trying to fight me or whatever. Like, oh man, like, go away. But the cinematography is really well handled. I love that one take in the prison. It was really well handled in terms of going from, like, second floor to the first floor, and just the way they transition doing that stuff. It's great filmmaking from a technical standpoint. Beautiful. Editing wise, with its 2-hour runtime, I did feel it kind of overloaded and a little bit too long. Like I said, if you cut back on some of the subplots, like, I don't mind the human organ trafficking, that was fine. Tony Jaa's daughter, that was fine. But then, like, the brothers that with the heart transplant stuff, you didn't really need it. And it's like, I don't know. I felt like there was too much. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's the way I felt with the editing. But when I got to the fight scenes, they were really well paced, and, like, they definitely were like an adrenaline burst while watching the movie. But in terms of the narrative, 2 hours is a bit too long for this one, so just cut it back just a hair, and that's fine. So, but overall, guys, besides its, like, tonal inconsistencies with the narrative and maybe just being a little bit too much with the plot, I still enjoyed this movie. Like, there were bits and pieces that were amazing to watch. And then, like I said, even with the standalone, like, dramatic scene, that was really well handled. But then when it jumps to the comedy, that transition doesn't work. But then when you get to the over-the-top comedy section, that's cool. So, like, overall, I really enjoy this, guys. The choreography is amazing. The acting is really good. And the story is very interesting. It reminds me of, like, just an awesome 90s action movie. But just with it being too much and just it being tonally inconsistent sometimes, I have to drop it down a bit. But like I said, technically, cinematography-wise, acting, choreography, it is amazing. Killzone 2 is a very fun watch. I highly recommend it. I'm going to give it a B-. So have you seen Killzone 2 or even the first one? If you have seen the first one, comment in the place where open my face and let me know. And recommend it to me. I want to check it out now because that one's with Donnie Yen. And I would rather... I'm looking forward to that one now because of the Killzone 2. But are you looking forward to Killzone 2? Have you even heard of it? Comment in the place where open my face and let me know as well. I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and that is my review of Killzone 2 for the 2016 Dallas International Film Festival. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. See you guys later.